Be happy, happy, happy.
Be happy, be happy, mommy.
Come on, keep your chair. Enjoy this time.
Smile,
Smile, smile, my darling.
Honey, you better count your blessings.
Welcome to Creative Mamas Unplugged. We are your hosts. I'm Cherice Barton.
And I'm Shelly Hutchinson. Creative Mamas Unplugged is a podcast where we navigate the hell out of being a creative mom with humor and heart.
We will have honest conversations,
Hear wise words from fellow badass mamas.
and share hilarious stories around motherhood for some much-needed comic relief. Listen, motherhood is the most creative, most difficult job in the world. You are not alone, and you deserve to be happy.
We are thrilled to share part 2 of our conversation with Erika Shannon Hathaway, a fitness and wellness expert passionate about supporting women through transitions like perimenopause and menopause, those dreaded words, all while balancing the challenges of motherhood. Erika's mix of expertise and personal experience offers invaluable insights into thriving through change. So let's dive back into this inspiring conversation with Erika and move to win.
When was your last car sit and what did you do?
So it was probably in the parking lot of the gym. I've had a lot of car sits in the parking lot of the gym. I think part of it is because I hesitate to go in because I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like it. But then I always do, and I always feel better. It's usually a combination of posting some thought on social media that's off the cuff and whatever, or Marco Poloing with my college friends.
Listeners, it's the app, not in the pool game with the close your eyes, Marco Polo. The messaging app, yes.
The messaging app. I have a couple really close friends that I Marco Polo with a lot. And so I might have been listening or catching up with one of them. Car sits also, sometimes I cry, but but not recently, I don't think. Well, I mean, yeah, because Gavin died and that was horrible. But yeah, car sits are the best because you can breathe, you can cry, you can zone out on social, you can spew whatever needs to spew. I'm trying to be spontaneous, but I love a good car sit. Isn't it funny that we have all this, we're trying to cram everything into this day, and then there's so much idle time where we feel like we can't be productive. Maybe a car sit is really what saves us. Any car sit tips and tricks? Anything that you recommend for a good car sit?
I like to push the car seat back and lean it back a little bit.
Ooh.
Listeners, if you can see, she's actively showing us.
I'm showing how I get back, and then I put my feet up.
That's nice. I like that. When do you do that? Like waiting for a kid, drop off, pick up?
Often, yeah, it's waiting. It's waiting. Yeah.
What about you, Shelly? What's your car sit?
Well, I often will look in the mirror and pick my split ends. So there's that in my hair. And then I scavenge around for the random food that is in the car and I eat it. And there's often, there was an avocado in my car I ate before, but I had to peel it. There's a half-eaten sandwich. I have no shame in that. Or I'll also just bring a book with the intent of reading it. And I just stare at it and breathe.
I keep car snacks in the console next to the driver's seat. I had a bag of almonds that I really wanted one day. And one day we were in the car and my husband reaches in and pulls out my car snacks and starts eating them. And I was so mad at him. I was like, don't you understand? Those are mine. I was so pissed off. My daughter laughs to this day. To this day, she's like, Dad, you better not eat mom's car snacks. I'm like, don't fuck with my car snacks. I will cut you, because if I don't get my snack.
Respect the car sit and leave the snacks alone.
Thank you. We must always have a snack available when we are car sitting.
And a pen.
And the emotional support water bottle.
Yes, definitely the water bottle.
So wait, tell us what you have coming up that we can share with our listeners. Is there anything that you can refer us to and something that programming that you're doing? I know you have a community, you have your menopause parties, which sound fucking awesome. But what can you share with us what you want to share with our listeners that you feel would be good to know?
Yes. Well, if you are wondering if you're in perimenopause, I have a 10-day menopause crash course that delivers 10 emails to you one day at a time with a video from me explaining different things like what is perimenopause versus menopause versus postmenopause, and what is hormone therapy, and how can I talk to my doctor about it, and why am I gaining weight, and why can't I keep a thought in my head? And I explain what all these things are. So if you're wondering what that is, at erikashannon.com, I do have a 10-day menopause crash course. I also do group coaching and private one-on-one coaching. My program is called Your Next Chapter, and it is awesome, and I love it. So I do have a couple spots open in group coaching, and I have maybe 2 spots for my one-on-one coaching. I'm trying to keep it small, especially over the holidays. And then speaking of the holidays, I'm relaunching my very first menopause program that's called Hormonal for the Holidays. And it is dedicated specifically to behaviors that happen around the holiday season, including food, drink, parties, family stress, all that kind of stuff, and how we can mitigate our symptoms through natural solutions during that time. And yeah, and you can follow me at Erika Shannon Movement on Instagram and TikTok. I'm more active on Instagram.
Your Instagram is pretty fabulous. I mean, you have so much great information on there, and it's really active, and it's really, really funny and
Thank
helpful.
you.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
As a creative, I have to say this. There's so many women trying to deliver the same messages that I'm delivering right now. And I am really trying to honor who I am as a creative to bring it out in my way. And I'm trying to use movement more as something that's fun, that brings a little levity. I recently lost one of my best friends, Gavin Creel. We went to college together. And he was the most creative genius ever. And he encouraged spontaneous dance parties and figuring stuff out and being fully in the moment. And he was so present and so true to himself that I'm so inspired to try to find ways in my social media, which is basically my only method of performing right now, and how to bring my people toward me that are going to click with me. So I'm kind of on a mission to try to be more authentically myself. I've committed to myself to try to just bring more of Erika into Erika Shannon Movement and just not be so serious and have fun and know that, like, yeah, 100% of women are going to go through this. We might as well have some fun while we do it.
I love that. I love that so much.
I would like to ask a question because we're talking about menopause, perimenopause.
Yeah.
I really just feel like a complete alien right now because some of these symptoms that I'm having, they're just so odd. And so I wouldn't mind if the 3 of us just had this like quick powwow around like, what are some of the symptoms that feel very real and very uncommon or not spoken about or talked about?
What are your symptoms?
Okay,
Tell me.
you want me to go first? I'll go first.
Yes.
The ringing in the ears. I had thought my alarm was going off in the middle of the night.
Yes,
Alarm.
tinnitus. You've got, yeah, that's a huge
Okay.
symptom.
But I thought it was from vaccine or something like that. I mean, that's what I was told. It just was that it's perimenopause, right? The ringing in the ear, strange, bizarre rashes, itchy palms.
Skin irritation, itchy palms.
Itchy palms. We've talked about itchy palms. What in God's green earth? Now, I don't have a hot flash. I've maybe had one. I don't have them. But the spike and change in mood and like all of a sudden just feeling that's real. So I guess my point is common symptoms that I've always heard, which is hot flashes, sleeplessness. I sleep great every single night. I think it's because I dance my ass off every day. I really get a lot of exercise, right? I think that's why I sleep my ass off. I really do.
I would agree.
Yeah, but I sleep very well. But those are the things I always heard were the symptoms. These symptoms, out of this world. There are probably more. I just can't think about them because they're so weird. Okay, you guys go.
It's the night sweats for sure. I get them often, and it's very uncomfortable. I have had some hot flashes. Not a lot. It's more the night sweats for me. The loss of my hair was the most depressing thing I ever had to go through. My hair used to be so thick and luscious and silky and and I started losing it, and it started getting dry, and it started getting curly randomly. And I was like, what is happening to my hair? I think the itchy palms, I didn't even know that was a symptom, but I have itchy palms.
Yes, it's a symptom. We have estrogen receptors in every major organ system in the body, including the skin. And so when we lose estrogen, shit gets fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what creates dry skin. That's what creates itchy palms,
Yeah.
dry scalp, oily scalp, all those things, all those changes. Acne, like all of a sudden.
The acne. I used to wash my face with baby oil when I was in high school. Shit you not. I have never
Baby
had
oil?
acne, and my friends used to make fun of me. And they were just like, that's insane. I always had great skin, beautiful skin. I never had acne. I am telling you, that's the one I forgot. It is insane. The bottom half of my face. I'm like, what's happening? It's just what
hormones
is happening. And frozen shoulder,
joint pain.
Joint pain has been my big one. Like and it's honestly just this year. It's kind of depressing. Like I might cry, but like I get so much pain in my joints. It's real. It's joint.
Have you talked to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy?
I have not.
You
I'd
should.
like to
Erika, are you?
Oh, I'm fully on it. I'm a huge advocate of hormone therapy.
Talk about HRT real quick. What's that experience been like for you, and how long have you been on it?
Life-changing. 6 months ago, I did a podcast in the city. I went to a studio, did a podcast with another podcast, and I was terrified. I was terrified because I had no brain power. Like my brain fog was so bad. I couldn't finish a sentence. I couldn't remember what I was saying. I couldn't remember why I walked into a room. It was horrible. I was having major depressive issues, like hormonal depression, cyclical. I could sense it. And I've always been able to bring myself out of a situation if I'm feeling down or whatever. Like I know how to self-soothe, and I know how to give myself rest and space and take care of myself and, do all the things and meditate. But this, I couldn't get my way out of. I was having panic attacks, which is a huge symptom of perimenopause. There's a book called The Menopause Brain by Dr. Lisa Mosconi, and it talks about all of the symptoms that happen in your body that are not bikini symptoms, meaning like any area of the body that a bikini would cover. That's what most doctors diagnose. It's like a bikini diagnosis, but perimenopausal symptoms are all over your body. And so many of them stem from your brain, including hot flashes and night sweats, because that's vasomotor symptoms, which help you regulate your body temperature. Anyway, hormone replacement therapy, there was a study done in the early 2000s that fucked everything up for hormone therapy. It was called the Women's Health Initiative, and it came out, they stopped the study mid-study, and they were like, it causes breast cancer, you shouldn't take it. And at that point, there were many, many women on hormone therapy, and everybody stopped prescribing it. The suicide rates of women our age skyrocketed between then and now, and also the use of SSRIs and antidepressants, which is basically the doctor's first line of, you're like, I'm sad and depressed and getting older and in perimenopause. And they're like, here, have some Zoloft. Like that happened to me. So that's a very common knee-jerk reaction because everybody thought for so many years that HRT was dangerous and caused breast cancer. We have estrogen receptors all over our bodies, including in our breasts. There have been lots of studies done since the early 2000s that basically already and officially debunked that study. Estrogen hormone replacement therapy does not cause breast cancer. At the time that they were doing this study, they were using synthetic hormones, which were created and compounded from horse urine and not from plant-based, which bioidentical, you'll hear the terms bioidentical, body identical. It's basically using the same process to create estradiol, which is what hormone replacement therapy is, and progesterone, than we already have in our body. So bioidentical mean it is a complete replica of what our bodies naturally produce. So just off that, synthetic versus not synthetic. And for perspective, hormonal birth control pills, which how many of us have been on in our lives, are so much riskier than hormone replacement therapy, because think about it. Birth control is set to completely disrupt your reproductive system, fool your body into thinking you're pregnant all the time, and is always synthetic, right? So it's a synthetic drug at a high dose that is interrupting your body's natural rhythm. But nobody talks about how bad that is for you. Hormonal replacement therapy is way lower dose. It is body identical. And so if you still have your uterus, you will have a progesterone supplement. You can take estrogen or progesterone via transdermal creams. I have a patch that I wear kind of on my hip bone that I change out twice a week. Transdermal is better in my opinion because it doesn't go through your digestive system. And so you can have a lower dose, and it also doesn't go through your liver. There's less of a chance of blood clotting that's caused by hormones. So I do a transdermal patch, a progesterone pill, and then I want to talk about topical vaginal estradiol, which comes in a tube, and you literally stick it. It comes with like a little syringe and you like stick it up there. I honestly, like, I just use my finger at this point because I'm not washing that thing out. Ain't nobody got time for that. But that is specifically, it absorbs into the vaginal walls, and that helps with vaginal dryness. It helps with incontinence. It helps with prevent UTIs. There are so many things that helps with, and that has never, ever been reported to cause any discomfort, any illness, any disease, anything in any woman ever. So is completely safe for everybody. The only real contraindication of hormonal replacement therapy, the estrogen and the progesterone, would be if you have or have had a reproductive cancer. If your like if your grandma or like your Aunt Fanny had it, like you can still take it. It's not you, it's not your body. So there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of outdated information, and our doctors are not required to update about this. Our doctors went to medical school, and through their entire education in medical school, maybe got 6 hours of menopause education. If you're studying to be an OBGYN, it's all about having babies. And once babies are done, nobody cares about you.
Wow.
And that's the truth. So that's what all these women online that you see, like Dr. Mary Claire Haver, Dr. Kelly Casperson, like Dr. Lisa Mosconi, they're all being like, yo, you need to figure this out because this is an epidemic. This is bad. So I'm very proud and very honored to be able to share that information. I'm a huge, 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 huge supporter of hormone therapy for sure.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. That is just, it makes me want to cry once again, because I wish that I would have had this conversation with you 5 years ago. I had, a complete breakdown in 2022 in the fall. I had to take a year off for my mental health. And I remember thinking at the time that I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I was going crazy.
I'm
I
so
was
sorry.
having so many panic attacks that would flatten me. I would literally, that was the word that I would use. I'm flattened.
Yes.
Anxiety was so severe that I had to just like lie down flat, because I couldn't stand up. And I was turning to the wrong things to try and make it go away. I was drinking too much. I wasn't really eating well. I wasn't exercising because I didn't have the energy. I was like in this spiral. And, it was at that time that my period started becoming like very, very irregular. It all makes sense. Everything was hormonal, but I wish that I, would have gone the route of the HRT and
Are you menopausal yet? Have you hit menopause?
yes.
Okay. Well, I would still talk to your doctor about it.
Yeah, I will.
Because symptoms of menopause, even after hitting menopause, can last another 10 years. It
Well,
might
that's
really
the
help.
thing. They don't talk doctors. I mean, we don't talk about that part where it's like, so I always thought it was like a year. Like you don't get your period for a year and then you're done.
Then you're done.
Right. And then like truly that 10-year, that decade, going forward, like it is very possible that you'll still be feeling these same ways, having these same symptoms, and then you wonder like, gosh, this last half of my life, is this what that looks like? Is that what I'm managing? Because I wish the advertising industry would get a lot better on throwing some ads up for HRT and this kind of talk during Shark Tank or during like a World Series game. I mean, seriously, you're seeing
I
all
mean,
kinds
hopefully we'll get there, right? I mean,
we'll get there, hopefully. But with
right now, the only thing I see ads for is Veoza. Veoza is a non-hormonal. It basically blocks the area of your brain that controls your vasomotor symptoms. So it stops hot flashes, but it doesn't help anything else.
Yeah.
And also, like, do you want that? Just go on HRT. What is wrong with you? Like, just go on it. Like, see what it feels like. Give it a chance to regulate. Instead, everybody's going like, I'm going to go to my cardiologist for palpitations, and I'm going to go to my PT for my pelvic health, and I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to a shrink to help me with my anxiety. Guess what? You could also just put on a transdermal patch, take some progesterone, and see how it feels. And I bet that a lot of that would, not to say that you shouldn't get everything done and go get everything checked out. I'm a big fan of that, but chances are it's menopause.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's so frustrating.
I was prescribed an antidepressant. I asked about the estrogen cream recently, and my doctor told me, no, your vagina is beautiful. She just asked me if she said, no, it's beautiful. You don't need the cream. She's like, are you sexually active? And she said, you need to have sex. It's good for the body. It's good for the mind. It's good for the hormones. It's good for the muscles. It's good for the vagina. And
sure is. But what if you're too tired? And what if it hurts to have sex?
Right.
You got to fix that shit.
Yeah. Oh
God.
I'm gonna I'll find an estrogen cream.
I have two things to say about that. One, go to menopause.org. It's the website for the National American Menopause Society, and you can search for menopause practitioners who are OBGYNs in your area, and you can book an appointment with them, and they are certified by the National American Menopause Society. So that's a great resource. The second is going with a telehealth company like Winona, MIDI, Alloy. Those companies have telehealth doctors who they're a very big intake. There's a very big intake process, and then they prescribe it, and it's at your door in like 3 days. And I've actually used Winona. I work with Winona every once in a while. And I actually had an opportunity to spend the day with their chief medical officer a few weeks ago, and she's amazing. And I have a lot of faith in those telehealth companies, and most of them take health insurance. So like, check it out and remove that barrier for yourself.
Oh, this is such great information. This is such great information.
Yay.
I mean, we cannot thank you enough for being here with us today, for sharing your strength and your love. And you have just such great ideas. And I really love, now I want to cry, because I really love how you just show up for women. You're a woman's woman, man. And like, you just show up for women, and you're an incredible friend, and you're an incredible ally for people who really are struggling. And I love that I'm just like circling back, because I'm thinking of like all the things you're telling us and how passionately you're talking about all of this work and giving all of this information that you've taken a lot of time and gotten a lot of education on. And I'm circling back to like what you said initially, like once 9/11 happened, you had a moment, which was, I need to be more serving, and I need to be focused less on self-serving and more outwardly serving. And it just seems like you've done this forever, which just, I imagine, is really your true calling, right? Like, but you're just so strong, and we're so lucky to have you here and on this earth to like talk with us and help us and be a friend, because when you're going through something that isn't spoken about publicly enough, it definitely feels like you're alone. So you have weird symptoms, and it's kind of freaky to talk about, because you're like, is anyone else like getting hair growing out of their eyeballs? And everyone's like, and you're just like, oh, okay, just me then. Cool. I'll never say that again. But if you really talk about it is the thing, because the truth of the matter at the end of the day, as a mom, as a creative, as a human, no one wants to feel alone in their shit. Right?
No,
you don't want to feel alone.
And thank you so much for saying that. And you actually like really connected something in my heart that needed to be connected when you said that. So thank you so much. I feel like I'm going to cry. And crying is good, by the way. Crying is great for the nervous system. Let's all cry it out.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone. Bye for now.